AEW has officially hit the peak. Actually, hit the peak when CM Punk made his debut. At that point, that's the highest the bar has been set. Since then, I have not seen any improvement. I haven't seen anything unbelievable. Adam Page is one of the most boring champions ever. And I'm not, I love AEW. I'm not going to lie. They have a stacked roster. But AEW is starting to look like Impact Wrestling. Impact was so good from 2003, 2004 to 2008. And then they signed Hulk Hogan. Then they signed Ric Flair. And then they signed all these WWE guys. They gave them all the money, all the talent that they spent, and they worked with, like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. They were pretty dominant at that point, but they got so angry with the direction of the company that they left. AJ Styles left, and he was there from the jump almost. A lot of wrestlers from there sailed ship to WWE. And AEW is starting to do the same thing. Like, as you can see with the graphic right now, the ratings hit a peak when CM Punk made his debut, 1.3 million. And then since then, it hasn't gone past 1 million once. And as you know, wrestling is ratings. You can't, if you're not getting the views on TV, you're not going to make it like WWE. And it's the truth. Raw and SmackDown have definitely gone down. And that's a fact. The wrestlers, the whole product hasn't been good. And that's why I was so into AEW in the start. But now, AEW, every week, there's a stipulation match. There's 18 factions. All these wrestlers, they come and go. Every week, there's a new superstar. Or a new stipulations, a new storyline. It's like there's no control there. And the amount of botches, I don't know if it's because they don't know how to cut cameras at the right moment like WWE has been perfect with almost. I'm not saying WWE is perfect, but on TV, it looks a lot better than AEW does. The camera angles, the refs, everything on AEW looks funny. It looks unprofessional. It used to look good, but as time has gone on, it seems like they're relying on the stars and they're not really focused on the actual, the other wrestling aspects. A lot of the matches are sloppy, and you can see the sloppiness. It's not edited out, it's live, just like WWE. But comparing, the way the product has been, WWE has taken a similar path each year, and they bring back the right people. They always push someone. The last couple years we've seen Shinsuke Nakamura win the Royal Rumble. We've seen, Jinder Mahal win the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre, and, there's always a change. There's always something going on. Most of the time we can predict it, obviously, but at least, whether or not it's good, WWE keeps trying to figure something out. With AEW, and I'm not trying to sound like a hater, I watch it on a week-to-week basis, I'm not going to lie, and I don't know. MJF is awesome. I don't really like Chris Jericho now. He's good, and he's one of the greatest of all time. But this wizard faction thing with Eddie Kingston that we've already seen, it's to me, it's nothing special. MJF and Wardlow, that's entertaining, but every single week, it's him versus security. Every single week. And MJF doesn't, put himself in a position to get... Obviously, it's him building his character. But once again, if you watch the week-to-week shows, they're just getting more They're getting stale. It's the
This
same
is not a
thing.
place where anybody.
There's
who's
always
in
like
WWE
these
can
crazy.
show up.
I don't
We're
know.
very selective on who
And I'm not
we take.
saying Raw and SmackDown are a million times better, because Raw and SmackDown are pretty stale too. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, with the way WWE presents the product and the wrestling, like all of it looks, it looks great. AEW, the wrestling looks sloppy, and then you're like, what the hell is this? Every single night, there's always a crazy, like a handful of botches in a match. With Jeff Hardy, with now Johnny Elite, every single wrestler. And what I also noticed, besides them having a million factions, is that they have Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, CM Punk. They have Keith Lee is nothing now. Whatever the hell happened to him, I don't know. Jeff and Matt Hardy, they look older. They don't like Jeff looks out of shape. They're doing all these crazy matches, and they miss all the spots. Every single time Jeff does a swanton bomb or some type of flip, 1 out of 3 times he's landing hard on his back, because they don't know what they got to do. They don't practice the matches. They don't rehearse it. And the wrestlers have admitted to that. Tony Khan, every week it's a new person. There's always it's getting messy. And as someone who watched the first episode, I watched everyone make the debut. After CM Punk, I was like, man, now what? He's not young. He's 44. Like, what more can they push him to do? He's over with the crowd, but I don't think he's done anything significant the last few months. He's helping other wrestlers for sure, but he's winning all the matches. He's lost a couple, but I don't think he's done anything crazy. It's just, the same thing he did in WWE, maybe just a little bit less. He's already done it before. Obviously, it's cool to see him wrestle and be back, 100%. But everyone was saying this was the thing that was going to push him forward. And I haven't seen anything but a collapse since then, to be honest. And you can see with the ratings. Hopefully, CM Punk wins the championship in a couple weeks. But they need to get rid of a good amount of people. It's overpopulated. There's so many storylines. There's so many things going on. Every week it's stipulations, and they just got to calm down. They're trying to be so much like the old days. You can see that. And they always take shots at WWE. They need to bring it back a notch and understand that they're their own company. They're not a rivalry. You can't rival with WWE. They're never going to be a rival. No matter what, unless they start averaging 5 million viewers a week, that's the only way they'll be taken down. The WWE is way too powerful. It's not even a competition. I just hope AEW starts to slow their roll a bit and understand that they got to work on their wrestlers, not the big old men. You know what I'm saying?